Well, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Pastor Plus podcast. And I'm so excited today because I get to feature not only someone that I value and respect, but who I think is a kingdom shaker, someone who I think embodies the Pastor Plus concept. And I want you guys to help me welcome my friend and my brother, Mr. Jesse Cole. Jesse, how you doing today?
I'm still winning, man. No complaints.
Man, I'm so happy to have you on today. I know, man, you and I have been having this conversation in and around Pastor Plus, impacting the world, finding what God has called you to do, all of those things. And so before we get started, just kind of tell everybody, again, who you are, what it is that you do, where you're at, and things of that nature.
Yeah, so I am the COO, the Chief Obedience Officer of Kingdom Mogul Coaching. So that all that means is whatever God tells me to do, I'm doing it. Our Kingdom Mogul Coaching is a firm that helps you grow your faith as you grow your business. And our assignment in this season is to help people discover, build, and monetize their kingdom message. I'm located here in the Metro Detroit area with my wife and my two children, Dean and Naya. My wife is Shalina. We've been married for 13 years and been together for 15, man. So in a nutshell, this faith and business piece, it's part of my DNA. This is what we do, man.
So you're the Kingdom Mogul. Now, there may be someone listening who really, can't really put that together. So, tell us, what is a Kingdom Mogul?
Yeah, so typically when you hear the term mogul, you think of people like Jay-Z and P. Diddy and Warren Buffett, people who are doing big things in their spaces. And typically, the synonyms that come along with that is people who are very business-minded and rough and tough, and but God has called us to be moguls in our own right when he says, go ye therefore into all the nations. You know what I'm saying? He's saying use everything that you have, all your gifts, all your talents, to put this kingdom message out there. And so that's, in my terms, in my eyes, a kingdom mogul is somebody who's using their gifts, their talents, their purpose, their assignment to get this kingdom message out in the environment that they're in. That's what kingdom mogul means for us.
This idea of, being kingdom minded, but then also having some multiple streams of income that supports these kingdom visions, etc. That's the whole idea I talk about with Pastor Plus, is that, we can't just rely on pulpit ministry as pastors to sustain us and have any kind of longevity. We can't just rely on that. I think we ought to be pushing ourselves to have multiple streams to influence not only ministry but also marketplace. So you've unleashed a concept, your kingdom platforms concept, and I'm interested to know, how does that fit into the grand scheme of what God has called us to do across these platforms, that gray area between ministry and marketplace?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when we hear the term platforms, we think of, this is my place. This is my message. We've been taught that we live in roles and responsibilities. I'm a father, I'm a business person, I'm a husband, all these different boxes. But I believe that God is calling us out of these boxes into a platform. So just imagine that you go to a concert or a movie and you're looking at a screen or a stage. It's big, a message is going forth, a sound is going forth. And I believe that God wants our life, he wants us to use our life as his platform. So no longer are you just a father or a husband or a mother or a pastor. It's like, no, God can use your total life to get his message out. Yeah. So it's like, okay, now you're asking God, okay, God, what kind of father do you need me to be? What kind of pastor do you need me to be? What kind of husband do you need me to be? What is your best for me in all of these different areas? And when we have that mindset, God can supersede what culture and what society says we're supposed to be. He can do more with us if our life is a platform versus a box. So this whole kingdom platform piece is, first of all, the foundational thought is, God, I'm opening up myself, opening up my life for you can use me, so that you can use me how you want to use me, which means that the success and the potential is endless, is measureless, right? But also God, you've given me a purpose and an assignment in a specific area in the kingdom, and I want to use that to get your message out as well.
I love it, man. So many people struggle, with, understanding that God has called us. He has given us our own sphere of influence. He has given us a particular purpose. He has given us a particular assignment. And when I hear you talk about platforms, that is certainly the case. How does God, in your estimation, and I love that concept, how does someone who's struggling with, okay, where exactly, Lord, am I supposed to be using these gifts, these talents, that ministry leader or worker who says, I have a prayer ministry. What does that mean? How can I use it as a platform to pray? What would be your advice for that person?
Use it everywhere. Like there are no boundaries. There are no boxes when we talk about kingdom. So if you work in corporate, you can use it there. That doesn't mean you have to, get up in front of the whole organization and do it unless you're given an opportunity. But you can pray for your coworkers. You can, your gifts and your talents and your assignment and your purpose is boundless. There's a difference between our purpose and our assignment, but they're also married, right? Our purpose is why we were created, but our assignment is how we demonstrate it in the various environments that God has given us access to, right? And so if you believe that you are put here, your purpose is to be a prayer warrior, your purpose is to do a specific thing, there are no limits to where you can do that. If somebody meets you in a grocery store, you can do it there.
Yeah.
If somebody meets you at a basketball game, you can do it there. So wherever you go, you carry the glory of God with you.
I love it, man. I love it. Carrying God's glory, coming in. One of our mutual friends, Pastor Scott Schatzline, down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, he said, we're a kingdom of priests. And in 1 Peter chapter 2, it calls us kings and priests. The kings being that is my affluence and influence as a social leader or a business owner, etc. But a priest representing ministry, that I represent God. He says sometimes the king may get the invitation, but the priest is walking through the door. And so that embodies that whole concept, is that it doesn't matter where you go. Would it be safe to say then that our lives is the platform?
Again, that's we laid that foundation in the beginning. Our total life is His platform. There are no limits. God can use you anywhere at any time and how He wants to use you if you're open to that.
I love it. So there's some people in here. I know sometimes it's just hard to get started, right? It's when you look at the vast sea of people who are doing great things in the world, people will look at that and get intimidated. And so sometimes we struggle with having that first initiation, that confidence to say, let's go do it. One of the things I know that you had mentioned that you're unpacking this year is pushing people to kingdom confidence. What do you say about that? How does that whole concept work? Talk to us about kingdom confidence.
Yeah, it's for me, it's very simple, and the more that I teach it, it gets more simple, right? But it's so big. There is carnal confidence, the confidence that the world teaches, and then there is kingdom confidence, the confidence that we have through Christ, right, with God. And so, carnal confidence says it's all about me. I'm self-made. I'm going to hustle and grind and make this work, right? That's what carnal confidence says.
Yeah.
It's me led. It's talent led. It's ambition led. But when it comes to kingdom confidence, right, the word says that it is I who has given you the ability. In Deuteronomy 8:18, it is I who has given you the ability to create wealth. Now, when you read up a little bit, you see why God said that. He said when you come into your promised land and you about to level up, don't forget who raised you up.
Don't forget.
You about to get the bag.
Yeah.
You're about to come into some opportunities. You're about to live in a land that you have never. You were actually scared to come here before.
Yeah.
But because I'm with you, because you have my confidence.
Come on now.
you're going to be able to embrace this. But once you do it,
Yeah.
once you get there, don't forget who raised you up. Don't forget who brought you here. It is I who has given you the ability to get wealth, right? And so these conflicting thoughts that the marketplace is feeding us, that it's all about us. It is all about how we do it. It's all about us being an expert. When in actuality, it's all about what God is doing through us, right? So really taking people through a 6-month journey on breaking down those carnal confidence pillars that we've built up in our culture and replacing them with these kingdom confidence truths that God wants us to embrace to move forward.
You know, that's so crucial. You know, that verse you mentioned, he says, I've given you the ability. Most people want God to just give them the wealth. He says, no. I've given you the ability to obtain it, which means there's some responsibility on our part. There's some discovery on our part. There's some action on our part. And so what you're saying is this six month, you said 6-month program.
Yes.
This 6-month program helps people get that special ability and gain confidence to go impact the world, to go get this wealth. What are some of the PreKey principles? Like if you're, you know, if I'm signing up today, right? What are some of the key principles, just a couple that one might kind of experience in this program?
The biggest thing is understanding how to rest in God. Right? And so, you know, you have the Pastor Plus concept, and it's all about using everything that God has given you to create, you know, generate more income streams, right? And so to the simple mind, or to somebody who doesn't really understand that, it's all they like, oh, I gotta do more, I gotta do more, I gotta do more. I gotta do this, I got this, I got this. But to those who understand how God works, he's a provider, he's a sustainer. There are unforced rhythms, as Matthew 11 talks about in the Message version. These unforced rhythms of God's grace that we, as believers, we live in these unforced rhythms, meaning that I don't got to hustle for anything.
Wow.
I don't got to grind for anything.
Wow.
I just got to be obedient to what he told me to do, be obedient to what the moment requires, and rest in him. Because, at least for me in my life, what I've experienced over these last couple of years as I'm learning more about rest, I can get more done in God's rest than I can do if I'm manufacturing activity.
Wow.
Right? There's been things that I have been working on for 2 or 3 years that I didn't accomplish until I was able to learn how to rest in God. He accomplished that thing in 30 days.
Man, look at that.
With less effort, with more strategy, and with that strategy came seeds for the next season. Oh my, that's some good eating right there.
That is
good, man. When you rest in God, he will give you seeds for the next season to plant, right? And so that is the big thing, learning how to rest in God. Another one is understanding that you don't have to compete with other people in order for you to be successful. You don't have to say I'm better. I'm the world's best. This. I'm this. I'm the guru of this. No, listen. It is God who has given you the ability. So even if you are successful, it's because of him, not because of your own doing, right? And you don't have to compete with others. There's no way that anybody can steal your business if they're assigned to you. If the people are assigned to you, you don't got to worry about competing with nobody else. Doing the same thing. I got people doing the same thing I'm doing, Pastor.
Wow.
I have no reason to compete with them. There's been times where I've actually given them business.
Wow.
Because I understand that this is who God has called me to be. My job, my assignment in this season is to help people discover, build, and monetize their kingdom message. And God has given me a filter or a system to understand who I'm supposed to serve. He says, just share the message and the people are going to find you. The right people are going to find you when you show up and share your message, right? And so not only just resting in God, not only just, not competing with others, like being confident in who God has called you to be, but also understanding that it's not just about getting a bag.
Come on, deal with it.
The work that we're doing has eternal implications.
Come on, man. Wow.
So the lives that we're called to touch, the people that we are assigned to, The revelation that God gives us to give to them has eternal implications. What do you mean, Coach Jesse? All right, let me break it down. So, my mama told me something when I had this a mentoring program, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was getting tired of doing the work. I'm putting all this work in, putting all this money in, and wasn't really seeing the results like that I wanted to see, right? And she said, son, the work that you're doing is God's work. Let me tell you why. Because one of the things you do in your program is you teach these young men how to tie a tie. Something simple to you, but to them,
Wow.
it can mean life or death.
Yeah.
All right, mama, what you talking about? She said, just imagine this 13-year-old boy is learning how to tie a tie. Well, guess what? In a couple of years, he may graduate college and apply for a corporate job. And because you taught him how to tie a tie at 13, now he can go into that job interview with confidence because he got a tie on.
He got a
He's
tie.
going to teach his son that same principle. And his son's going to teach him that same principle. So what you're doing, everything that you do has eternal implications.
Wow.
If you're listening to this right now, if you're watching this right now, whatever your purpose is, whatever your assignment is your responsibility to understand that even though you plant the seed right now, you may not see the harvest until later on. Your seed, your assignment, your purpose has eternal implications. And if you don't show up, if you don't know how to, if you don't learn how to rest in God, if you continue to compete with other people that are in your market space, you're going to miss what God is trying to do through you, to you, in you, and for you.
Wow. Man, you unpacked so many great things. I'm trying to figure out where to start here. You said competing. I noticed you mentioned the word compete a couple of times. We should avoid trying to compete. And you're so right. What I found in my experience as a business owner, it is collaboration that has helped me over competing or competition. I mean, is when I started to collab with people, and like what we're doing right now, just collabing and man, like, how can I help you? What do you say about collaboration versus competition?
You get more done with collaborating with the right people, though. Right?
With the right people.
Everybody's not called to come to your collaboration table, right?
Wow.
And you got to have discernment with that, right? But understanding that you can get more done when you bring the right people to the table. People who are, first of all, assigned to the mission and the vision that God has given you, and you are assigned to theirs too, because it's not just about you receiving, right? It's about us giving too. So people that are assigned to this table, understanding that everybody's not assigned to your table. I call it your destiny space. I think we talked about this maybe a year or so ago. Like I believe that we live in 3 different spaces, right? Our public space, our private space, and our destiny space, right? It kind of looks like a target on the graph that I have. So the public space is where everybody has access to us. You go outside, somebody can walk up on you. You go to the store, somebody can walk. It's all transactional. There's very little value added there. It's just transactional engagement. Yeah. But then you have your private space. Your private space is the people like your family, your close friends, people who know you, they like you, they've experienced some things with you, right? Now there's still some transactional things going on there, because even in this private space, you probably can't really share your heart with these people. You probably can't really share the vision that God has given you because they just might not understand, and that's okay. But then you have your destiny space. Yeah. Your destiny space are the people who give you gas money. Like they help fuel the trip. They've earned the right to hold you accountable. Yeah. They hold your arms up when you get tired. But if you mess up, they tell you about it, but not in front of everybody else. They take you in the back room and like rip you a new one, right? So these are the people who have earned the right to hold you accountable. Yeah. That's your destiny space. The people that you want at your table to collaborate with, these are the people that are in that destiny space. They know your heart. They can walk with you. They're not going to try to compete with you. Right? The whole purpose is to push the mission forward, and their assignment is to help you do that.
Wow.
So for me, I have very few people at my Destiny Space table. But the people that are there, they're there for a reason. They're there for an assignment, and they understand that it's bigger than all of us.
I love it.
Right? So find you some people who can fit in that Destiny space. And if you don't have a whole lot of people, don't get so lonely that you begin to pull people from your public space into your Destiny space. Everybody don't have the shoulders to carry this weight. Right? So don't get so ambitious that you like, I gotta build me a team. No, let God build your team.
Yeah, that's good.
Because He knows
man.
what you need.
That's good, you know, because we get into our own way sometimes, trying to, you know, seek out people who God doesn't want us to kind of be with. It's like, man, these are two totally different directions that you guys are headed in. And I love it, man, because, you know, one of the things I struggled with as I was, you know, I've been doing ministry for a while, but I struggled with, okay, I have a message that is not only suitable for kingdom work, but I believe that I could take my kingdom message to the world and I can influence other markets. And one of the things that I struggled with was monetizing my message. I struggled with that. You know, I struggled with, you know, okay, should I be making money off of doing what God has gifted me to do, what He has given me the grace to do? Then I looked at it, man, out of the, you know, in the New Testament writings, there's only about 1,000 or so direct quotes from Jesus. Out of that 1,000 direct quotes from Jesus that we have in the gospel narratives, 800 of those deal with finance and economics. I'm like, wait a minute now, you know, which is wrapped up in kingdom principles. So, and I'm thinking now, if Jesus Himself, I mean, the word redeemed is a marketplace term. It means to buy back. So as I'm looking at all of that, I'm saying, okay, well, maybe there's something in this. Maybe, you know, God sees money different than most people sees money. How do you get to the point to where you feel comfortable monetizing what it is God has called you to do?
Man, that's a great question. And again, I can only use my life
Yeah.
as an example. And I think this is a timely question because I struggled with that too. Not the point of charging for my services, because I don't say this is a cost. I say this is investment. I had to make that.
I love it.
I had to make that transition. Like this is not a fee. This is an investment because you're going to get something out of it. But my thing was the stewardship part, right?
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of this year, actually December 26, 2020, the day after Christmas, 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:05 to be exact, God woke me up and told me to go downstairs and come to my office where I am right now and sit on this couch you see behind me. He said, I need to talk to you about something. So I came downstairs. I got my journal, right? My trusty journal. I said, okay, God, what you want to say? So He began to pour out vision for me for this year in terms of what we're talking about right now. Charging for services and stewardship. I said, okay, what do you want to say? The first thing I wrote down, big dreams and income streams.
Wow.
BDIS. Big dreams, income streams. I'll say, okay, God, what does that mean? He said, son, for the last 10, 12 years, you've done a great job with inspiring people, motivating people. You feel good about this work, but you haven't really focused on generating income. I said, okay. I said, well, I've been making money. He said, no, you've been making money because it's just been happening, right? You haven't been intentional about these income streams. Therefore, you haven't been intentional about your stewardship of them as well. I said, okay, God, you hit me with a big one right there. Okay, keep going. I said, okay, how do I do this? How do I become more intentional about these income streams that you've given me? So He began to really tell me to focus on two things, which I told you. I'm focusing on 2 programs this year, the Kingdom Platforms program, but also the Kingdom Confidence program that we're going to launch August, September. He says, focus on these 2 things for this year to get these basics down. I said, okay. He said, I want you to filter everything that you do through these 3 questions. I want to share them with you. I should have had them ready, but I didn't. But I can read them to you. I'm pulling them out of my journal, right? So I'm getting personal with you. All right?
I love it. I love it.
This is what he says. He says, focus on income generating activity. Okay, God, what does that look like? He said, ask yourself these 3 questions. Will this make money, or will it just make me feel good? Whew,
wow.
That hit me in my chest. Because I am a compassionate person at heart. I want to help people. I don't really give up on people that easily.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I would find myself investing in things, in people that weren't ready, or that weren't ready to go to that next level. I wanted it more for them than they wanted it, right?
Wow.
He says, will this make money, or will it just make me feel good? Okay. He says, the next question is, how does this grow my influence in the marketplace?
My God.
So will it make money? Will it make me feel good? But also ask yourself, how will this grow my influence in the marketplace? Not just Jesse's influence, but his influence.
Yeah.
So being more intentional about both. And third, will this make mortgage money or just McDonald's money?
I love it.
So will this opportunity help you pay your mortgage, or will it just help you get a sandwich?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Right? So you're talking about intentionality.
Man.
And so this whole big dreams and income streams piece is not just about generating income streams or getting a bag. It's about stewardship, stewarding your time, stewarding your talent. And when you close these contracts, stewarding the treasure, right? And so one thing I've been working on, and again, I'm getting personal because I want to help somebody, man.
Yeah, man, this is good.
My business account looks like this. Whenever I get a contract and that money comes in, that money goes to 7 different ways.
Wow.
Right? It goes to my savings. It goes to my salary. It goes to my taxes. It goes to my my checking. Right? It goes to my tithes. It goes 7 different ways.
Yeah.
So before I can even think about it, I got to make sure that everything is distributed. That is me working on my stewardship.
That's good, man.
Right? And so understanding that it's not just about the income streams, it's about how you steward those streams as well. Right?
Wow.
And so those were the three questions I had to ask myself to filter out if I'm in alignment with who God has called me to be. And when you look at the BDIS, because I'm really skilled at Ebonics, right? when you look at BDIS,
yeah,
big streams, income streams, what I see is be this, like be this.
Be this.
But the
I
scripture
love
that came
it.
to my mind was, let this mind be in you.
Wow, man.
Right? And so like this is how I want you to establish your stewardship when it comes to your business. Let this mind be in you. Be this. Big dreams, income stream.
Man, that's dope, man. I want to be the first to purchase that shirt. That be this. I love that concept, man. This has been, man, a very, very impactful session. And as always, it's a pleasure to get an opportunity to chat with you, man. You're always doing something. You're always moving and shaking. And so I love it, man. Besides the 6-month program, how can we get in contact with you? How can we connect with you? Someone who's listening to this, how can they kind of catch a glimpse of what you have going on?
Yeah, so the best way to do that, so again, our assignment is to help you discover, build, and monetize your kingdom message, and that's ongoing. So we just closed down our group, our Kingdom Platforms group, where I'm helping a group of people discover, build, and monetize their message through a book. So I'm helping them write their book and giving them an income, like a money plan going forward, right? So that's closed out. But if you're interested in private coaching for that, that's available. So just go to kingdomplatforms.com. kingdomplatforms.com. And that private session is going on and on and on. So that we can do that as well. When you go to that website, you're going to see a welcome video, just 1 minute long, and you're going to see my calendar. Real simple, not a whole lot of rigmarole. I'm going to give you the message. And if you're serious about it, get on my calendar. Let's have a conversation to see if we can indeed help you. And then in August, September, we're going to launch that Kingdom Confidence group coaching program for the end of the year.
Amazing. Man, brother, it's been a pleasure. I thank you so much. Everyone, get over and visit my brother Jesse. And your website is Jesse Speaks. Is it still Jesse Speaks?
My website is kingdommogulcoaching.com.
Kingdommogulcoaching.com. Must have been an email I read as Jesse Speaks. But kingdommogulcoaching.com, and get a glimpse of all of the awesome products and services Jesse has over there. Well, Jesse, man, thank you so much again. And thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man, and I just thank you for sitting and sharing with me for a few moments. Is there anything else you want to plug us into or say to us before we end this episode?
Yeah, man, God is not offended by your big dreams, right? Nor is he thrown off by your desire to level up economically. Like, there's nothing you can do to bankrupt heaven. Nothing.
Wow.
Right? And there's no good thing that he's going to withhold from us. Like, he wants to do this for us.
Yes.
He's given you purpose and assignment for a reason. And he wants to reveal that to you. And so, don't be offended. Don't be slowful in aligning yourself to what God wants to do. And if you don't know what that is, I would encourage you to do this. Simply ask God, what is your best for me? What is your best for me as a father, as a husband, as a wife, as a business, as whatever you are? Like, what is your best for me? And he is faithful. Listen, God is so reliable. He is faithful to perform that request.
My God. My God. Well, there you have it, everybody. This has been Pastor Plus with Chris Johnson, the Greatness Coach, and my friend and brother, Jesse Cole, doing great things in the world. And I want to push all of you, especially the pastors who are listening and ministry leaders, and I want to push you to not only be a pastor, but find out what that plus is and start pursuing that. It was Howard Thurman who said, ask not what the world needs, but ask what makes you come alive, and then go do that. God bless you, everybody, and thank you for tuning in.